Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. My email is still tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It is still in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for inquiring about this or any of our watches. Please reach out to me directly. I am tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing the Breitling Super Chronomat Automatic 38. Now this was a late 2022 launch for the 2023 model year, a combination of an ice blue sunburst dial, diamond set bezel, and blue accents in ceramic. This is a very wearable size, 38 millimeters in diameter in steel. I measure it 12.2 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip it is 45.2 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs, though I do want to advise you that the bracelet itself is wider than 20 millimeters. You can see the lug spacing is 20 millimeters, but the bracelet has little shoulders that integrate it into the taper of the lug profile, so the bracelet is broader. Just keep that in mind. Now, in terms of how it fits, this might seem at first glance like it's a lady's watch, but it's really not. Not at 38 millimeters with a full bracelet. This is a watch that has a fair amount of presence, and I have known men who would wear this and rock this style. So if this suits you, rock on. This can be considered unisex. Now, it's one of the flattest modern Breitling watches, especially considering the 100-meter water resistance rotating bezel and the fact that it is an automatic. So that will slide underneath the cuff. If you want to wear this as a dress watch, you absolutely can. It features the rouleaux bracelet that relaunched with the Chronomat 3 years ago. The nice thing about it is it's an 80s homage that feels like a modern bracelet. So the look might be of the 80s, but the feeling is the structural integrity of a modern bracelet. You can see it has a pronounced taper down from the lug profiles. We have a little bit of a staggered link design with intermediates that feature satination against the polish. In profile, you can see pins and sleeves are used to size, but there are quite a few removable links, so you're going to get the right size here. You have many options. This is a remarkably well-preserved example, so if you buy this, you will be enjoying something that feels indistinguishable from the showroom. Now, it is a double folding clasp. You can see the Breitling B there. Twin trigger release, so it can't pop open accidentally. You need to press both of these triggers at the same time to pop that open. The case is somewhere between a tonneau and a round case, and you can make up your mind which it is, but it has the qualities of both. A quick look at the wrist one more time. I would say this watch is suitable for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference in terms of wrist size. The case is all of high polish, and you can see that we'll get a little bit closer. The edges have a little bit of a rolled, beveled quality to them. We have a crown, which is a push-down that has a scratch-resistant ceramic shoulder and then crown guard profiles. Taking a look at the bezel, you can see it's fixed in place by screws. Those are not just a styling element. This is called a captive bezel, and it has to be completely dismantled with every screw removed to be removed from the watch. That means, unlike a Rolex tag or Omega bezel, you can't just snap it off by impact, and you can't just snap it back on. It is very resilient. Hitting it hard will not result in it being dislodged. Now, you see these little rider tabs. These have been a feature of the modern Chronomat since it became a prototype with the Italian Freche Tricolore Aerobatic Squadron back in 1983. The Italians helped to provide feedback for the commercial re-release of the Chronomat in 1984, and what was initially a circular slide rule watch launched in the early 40s became a watch defined by things like the onion crown profile, the unidirectional rotating bezel, despite being on aviation watches, the rider tabs that made it easier to grip those bezels. And so here we have diamonds, which are lab-grown diamonds, just to be clear, trying to keep this steel watch from reaching the figurative stratosphere with those Italian pilots. The lab-grown quality means you have a very consistent set of carats, color, and clarity all the way around. The diamonds are identical. Now, we have a luminescent pearl that sits inside one of the rider tabs, and it allows you to use this watch, which features the vintage-inspired hammerhead indices. You can quickly time a interval between 0 and 60 minutes using the minute hand, and it's always nice to have a running seconds hand on a dive-style watch so you know in the dark or in the depths that your watch is still running. Now, the bezel action is superb. 120 click, a nice sharp detent without feeling gritty. Just enough glide to make it feel refined. It's really among the best I've experienced. The dial features that hammerhead lume profile, and you can see that the indices are appliqué with a combination of polish and lume inset. They're fascinating to look at even in the day. Now, you can see the Breitling B on both the counterweight of the second hand as well as the dial, no longer with wings, as Breitling wants to be seen as a land, sea, and air sports company. There's a Reho outboard that acts as a transition from the bezel down to the dial base, and then the dial base with a spectacular metallic metallic sunburst in ice blue. Underneath the case back, we have Breitling caliber 17, which is an ETA 2824 automatic that is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. Adjusted in 5 positions, bidirectional winding, automatic, 38-hour power reserve, stop seconds, and a quick set date, 4 Hz beat rate, and 25 pivot-joules. It is a tough, universally serviceable, and very accurate timekeeper. If you love this watch, reach out to me. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.